There's a lot of suffering in the world right now. A lot of suffering. It's something, being a 50-year-old woman who has lived through many things, and just going back to school days, right? When you're reading about history and all of the events, the things that take place or took place that you're reading about. And it all just seems so like, whoa, right? The wars, the chaos, the plagues, the things. When you're reading this history, and right now I'm thinking about our time now. We're living the reality of the history to be read, if it's read. Who knows what becomes in the future, right? There was the pandemic. And right now, and all that came with the pandemic. And right now, just the heightened political climate. And I'm not a deeply political person by any means at all. And you don't have to be in order to feel the weight and the gravity of it, in order to see what's happening around us, around you, around me. You don't have to watch or read the news to still find out, right? Because you can't escape it. And today on the mat, I'm thinking about the gravity and the weight of the world, and how so many people are being adversely affected by decisions being made on their behalf, right? Without say. People who are caught in the in-between. And this isn't about who's right or who's wrong. It's about the gravity and the weight that we carry, the suffering and the grief. And where do we go to lay it all down? Where do we go within ourselves to renew, restore, reconcile? Is there a quiet place for you in your life? Where do you turn when it's like a ticking time bomb around you? So today is about that. It's about rest and recovery from the happenings. We cannot just keep going and absorbing all of the energy and the angst and the stuff in the world, and building our backpack is just getting bigger and bigger, the weight that we're carrying. Life is not designed, the human life experience is not designed to carry the load forever. We have to drop it off. And so what is your restoration? For me, I don't have many people in my life, and that's helpful because it means that I don't have to sift through many opinions, thoughts and ideas or pressures or responsibilities. And the great majority of the people in my life seem to be sort of on the path of not inviting it in and just really being mindful of where they are in life. And so that's part of my restoration, not inviting it in and being mindful of where I am in my life. Carving out quiet time to just look out the window and watch the passerby, read, journal, nap. Napping is amazing. Taking a nap is an amazing thing. Or maybe I'll just have a glass of wine and, give thought to life. Be with gratitude for my life, that I'm not at the nucleus of the chaos. We're not all at the nucleus of it. We're on the peripheral. We're on the outs of it looking in. And so many people are on the inside. So many people are being, directly affected, killed, destroyed, annihilated, starving. The list is endless. And it's hard to bear witness to all of the things, the injustices, the isms, the deaths. That's heavy. That's hard. So being able to pause and not invite so much in, don't wake up with the news, right? Because that will set a tone for the day. Well, I want to be informed. And now that you have the information, how do you feel? It's one of those things for me where if I can't add to, I don't want to take away from. And if it's not going to add to me, will it take away from me? If I start my day watching the news, reading the news, and it's not like the cartoon section, right? It's the motivational word for the day, but it's the gravity of the day. If I start my day off like that, what's going to happen? The road rage, the angst, the dis-ease. But if I start my day with a level of presence, taking a couple of seconds, a minute or two to just center myself, right? Just where am I today? Where am I today? Before I start my day giving, extending myself to others in the world, where am I? Because guess what? We don't always wake up like, yay, right? And so if I'm already off, let's just call it off. If I didn't wake up in the yay vibration, gratitude for life. But we don't always wake up in the yay vibration. So if I did not wake up in the yay vibration, I probably should not go from that to the news. I should probably go from that to a presence with myself. What am I feeling? What's on my mind? Maybe I just need to spend the first 30 minutes to an hour of my morning in silence as I go about getting my coffee, preparing what I'm wearing, whatever that is, right? But to go from feeling unsettled into more things that are unsettling, it's a setup to fail. So when we think about our restoration, how are we restoring? And not just from the gravity of the world, but from the responsibilities that are a part of our lives. How are we restoring? And part of restoration is not going from, angst to more running, but to go from angst to renewal. Just let me drop in. My partner and I, we do that. We drop in when we see each other, which is to take a moment to, even if we have plans, we're going to do something, we take a moment, 30 minutes, an hour, to just sit with each other and talk. Because every time we see each other, we're meeting new people. Every time you see someone, you're meeting a new person. Even if you saw them yesterday, they're new today. And that's how we sort of stay on our toes inside of our connections and not take things for granted. So we drop in. And from there, we can move into the world. So as an individual, it's important that I drop in so that I can restore and renew. Otherwise, you get swept up in the turmoil. There's just a lot of anxiety in the world, a lot of heaviness in the world. And if you don't drop in with yourself, you'll feel it. When my partner and I do not drop in because for whatever reason we think we're great in that moment, great oh yeah, let's just go and do the thing, or let's go look at a new couch. Let's go grab, a meal. We're oh, we should have dropped in, because we're not where we are accustomed to being. There's something in the air, so to speak. And that's a beautiful thing because it keeps us present and grounded with ourselves and in relation and presence to each other and with each other. And so, as you go about the heaviness of the world, or the heaviness of the events of your life, I invite you to take a moment to drop into yourself and just check in. And whatever shows up, be with it. Don't run from it. Just give it its due until you feel just a little more like, that felt good. It felt good to just pause and pay myself some attention for a moment and not just feel like I don't have time. You have time. You have 2 minutes. If you don't have 2 minutes, you probably need to take 2 days to investigate why you can't seem to find 2 minutes, right? Something is imbalanced there. So I invite you and I invite myself to drop in, find the path of inner presence, and restore, especially with all that's happening in the world. Lord, have mercy. We need it. So that's what I have for us today on the mat. And I appreciate your presence and spending this time with me. So may you be restored. May you give that restoration to yourself by dropping in and pausing.